What is up, you guys? Glitchiz here, and welcome back to the channel. Today I am bringing you the long-awaited Ultimate Deviant Guide version 2.0. A lot of you really enjoyed the first Ultimate Deviant Guide I made for the previous beta, but as I'm sure you all know, a lot of things have changed in this beta with how deviants work. It's gotten a lot more simplified, they're easier to manage, and there is quite a bit more of them this time around. So I wanted to go over some tips and tricks on how to find them, how to take care of them, some unique ways to group them up to take up the least amount of space in your base, and also give you guys a unique resource that I have created from scratch using some feedback from other members in the community, and kind of put together a really cool little spreadsheet and checklist for you guys that I'll be listing down in the description that you guys can download and use as a resource moving forward for free. So without any further ado, let's jump into it and show you what we got here. Now, I know I mentioned in the Fetch a Lot Bunny video that I was missing a couple. I still am, unfortunately, missing a couple. That is just the nature of being a creator. I'm spending all my time doing every little thing here and there that I actually haven't gotten to experience every single part of the beta yet. I still got to do the LEA labs and beat the Men's of Orin boss. So I don't have those two particular deviants, and there's also one deviant that has eluded the community, the Lava Fox, that nobody has been able to find yet, so that one will also be missing. But all the other ones, both for PvE and PvP, that have been found, I'll be going over and giving you every detail for all of them. So the first thing I guess I should do, for the people that don't want to sit through the long explanation of the entire video, is go over the cool checklist resource that I've made for you guys. Again, this will be linked down in the description, but here it is. It is the Once Human Deviant checklist. If you go on the Discord, people have made basically a list of this, but I kind of refined it, made it easier, made it more user-friendly, added some check mark boxes for those of you that want to have like a checklist feature, and just made it a lot more readable and included information on all of them. There was a couple, including the Fetch a Lot Bunny that we found yesterday, that wasn't included on that old list, so this should have all the details for every single deviant in the beta right now, with the exception of the Lava Fox and then potentially this TV head guy, which no one really knows about. Not even sure if that is one, but it was on the original list, so I'm including it just in case it happens to show up at some point. But without any further ado, let's jump into it. So first and foremost, we have the butterfly. Everyone should have this. You get this from Silo Alpha in the theater room, or just by doing the main story in the beginning. It's the first deviant that you get. It is its effect is attacking. It throws a weak spot on the enemy and just does damage over time, and just randomly jumps from enemy to enemy as it's attacking. If an enemy dies, its likes are green light and flowers. And we can jump over here. I've got mine right over here. I don't have any flowers near it because I honestly don't use it that much anymore. So you don't have to have every single like accommodated for. Ideally, you could put a planter down here with some flowers in it. I did that over in the gardening section, but mainly just the green light. It is sort of buggy sometimes. As you can see, I have the green light above it, but it doesn't want to register all the time. Sometimes I have to move the light around. Sometimes I gotta pick up the container and put it back down. But long story short, we'll see, there you go. I just had to move the light around and now it's instantly working. So sometimes it can be a little finicky. But yeah, it takes effect when the player handling it is thrown, inflicts status damage on a hostile target, and throws a shot and tags the weak spot, giving plus 80% weak spot damage for 15 seconds. So it's not bad if you're using weak spot damage builds. I know a lot of the tankier, beefy guys, especially the ones with like the riot shields, this can be really helpful for a deviant. Or its secondary ability is just auto attack. It kind of follows you around, just hits all the enemies around you. So nice little starter deviant, and that can carry you all the way through the mid game, in my opinion. For those of you that don't know, they are a lot easier to manage now. There is no dislikes anymore. It's just going to be likes. So as long as you're meeting the requirements for the likes, the deviant's mood will change. You'll also know that it has a skill and activity rating. Some of the deviants, especially territory deviants like the electric eel, their power actually increases the more that you're using them, and you'll see this skill rating going up. So once we get to the electric deviant, I can go over it, but like for an example, by default, the electric deviant will increase it by so many watts, let's say 5 watts, but if it's at a skill rating of 3 or 4 because you're using it constantly and its mood is always happy and you're accommodating it with all of its likes, that percentage, the skill rating will actually go up, and you can get upwards of like 6, 7 to almost 10 bonus watts that you can get on a generator because its skill level is higher. So that is the one benefit of constantly having all of the things around it that it likes. Its skill and activity rating will go up, and the Deviant itself will be more efficient, whether it's combat or in just your territory. It will do more damage, or it'll gather more resources, or it'll increase the power output that it's going to generate. So ideally, you do want to try and cover as many bases for the likes as possible. For me, there's certain ones I don't really use that much. So like electricity wise, I like to preserve as much power as I can. So the ones that require electricity, I usually don't do that. Some of them I do, but not all of them. You don't have to. But just keep that in mind, that the higher the mood, and the longer you're using them, especially in your backpack, the activity and skill rating will go up, and it will make the Deviant a little bit stronger. But moving on, and these are going to be kind of categorized by bosses, silos, and then just random world drops. So next up, we have Festering Slime. This you get from the first boss of the Ravager. It is another combat deviant that creates defensive walls. It has multiple variations, one that you can throw and another one that you can just drop down by your side. This is a very popular one for dungeons because it also heals you. So you can throw it down and get heals over time, use it as a barricade. And then I believe that if you pick it up early before the duration ends, it actually respawns a little bit quicker. So that is another tactic that you want to keep in mind. Its likes are red light, and it uses 2 watts of power. So we can go over and look at that one. I believe that is over here. So we've got the Festering Slime. Again, red light and 2 watts of power. It's got moods. The other thing I forgot to mention is for the Deviant power, especially the territory ones, if your mood is recharging very quickly, but you notice the Deviant power is low, you can click the extracting power button and convert some of that mood power into the Deviant recovery power, and that will basically allow them to activate their territory bonus more frequently. Because some of them have like a threshold where they'll only start doing the buff after it reaches like 30%. So don't forget that you can like siphon some of the mood power and put it in the Deviant power section to kind of activate that ability manually and do it a little bit more frequently. But moving on, we have the Harveseed. You get this from the second boss, the Treant boss. That is considered a gadget. It gives you the shield potion. Basically, it's similar to Chrysalis. It might even be the Chrysalis, where you use the potion and it gives you a shield once your health gets low for a percentage of your max health, I believe. And that one likes crops, flowers, and high temperatures. Unfortunately, the heaters and the cooling units in the beta right now are bugged. So the main easiest thing that you can do to bring heat to your deviants is just throw down a furnace. It can be electric or the regular one. They don't have to be plugged in, so I recommend just using the basic one. Where are you? Harveseed right here. So this one right here likes crops, flowers, and high temperatures. As long as it's within like 2 walls distance from the facility container, it should get the benefits of that object. So that's why I have the furnace here, because the log cabin also likes it. So it's getting there. And then I have a crop and a flower here. And they don't have to be perfect. Just grow them one time, don't harvest them, and leave them there, and you'll just get the benefits of that plant forever. So that is how we're basically securing that. This is called Chlora Armor, but it's called the Chrysalis Elixir, I believe, in your thing. So creates a shield equal to 15% of your HP when you're below 20% health. And the other thing is all of the ones that give you recipes for potions, those potions are going to require a special material to craft them, and over time, depending on how high the mood is of your deviant, the faster that these little deviant items will generate. So you just go in, claim them, and there, as you can see, we just got 300 because I haven't collected it in a minute of those heart vines. So now I can use that to craft a bunch of the potions that he can generate. So that is the Harveseed. Moving on, and as you can see, I've grouped them up kind of strategically, so any of the deviants that like similar things, like the bunny likes flowers and plants, the hug in a bowl likes crops and flowers, the Dreamcatcher likes flowers, so I've strategically placed them together to take up the least amount of space, so that as long as they're within 2 walls of each other, these 2 plants will cover those likes for all 5 of these deviants, and you don't have to move them around, so that is another little strategy that you can do. But moving on, we have the Dreamcatcher. You get this from the 3rd boss, the spider boss, the Araxium. This gives you the web potion gadget. It likes blue light, music, and flowers. So that one is actually the one we were just looking at. So we can go and talk to it. And basically it creates the Weaver potion, rolls, and when you roll, it leaves cobwebs that slows down enemy units. We were wondering what this was going to do in the last beta. It didn't work properly, but that is how it works now. Again, blue light, music, flowers. That's why I have the radio down there as well in the middle, because that will reach all the nearby deviants. And again, if it's low mood, we can go to extracting power. He's at 100 out of 100, so why not? Click confirm, and now the mood will go down and the deviant power kicks in, which will instantly start activating the ability to generate more of those Trap of Silk items to create that potion. So keep that in mind when you're going there. I might as well claim that now too, because that's at max. So let's see, as soon as that power up went up, deviant power has to be greater than 30 to start generating it. Now that it's at 60, it'll start generating and it'll start creating more of the item that we want. So that is the Dreamcatcher. Moving on, we have the Canine Skull. You get this from the 4th boss, the dog boss. This is a combat deviant similar to the butterfly. It basically summons basically spectral dogs that follow you around and attack nearby enemies. If I just go over here, I can find it. I know I've got them in here somewhere. So we can go and talk to the Canine Skull. So it's got 2 alternate fires. One is Splinter Strike. Upon command, it splits into 3 dogs that attack nearby enemies. And then it also has auto attack. This is just going to be one singular bigger dog that just attacks any enemies within your nearby vicinity. Good for like one-off targets. Again, it likes red light, low temperatures, and electricity. I don't have the electricity set up, but for low temperatures, like I said, the cooling units and heaters don't work. So the next best option for making cold temperatures is the refrigerator. Another tip is the refrigerator will work and it will give that cold temperature to nearby deviants without having to be plugged in. So you just have to throw the refrigerator down and just leave it there. You don't have to hook up power and waste wattage on their fridge. As long as that fridge is nearby the deviant container, it will consider that it's a cold temperature nearby. So that's why I have it in the middle of these 3, because these ones like colder temperatures. You see the floating jellyfish likes low temperature as well. So put that in the middle and you can save some space that way. But that is the Canine Skull. Moving on, we have the Nutcracker. This is one of the few I unfortunately don't have yet. You get this from the 5th boss, the Men's Devorin. That's the big tree boss in the monolith, or the, which monolith is it? I forgot the name of it. It's right over here. The Forsaken monolith. I don't know why I was having a brain fart on that one. But basically, he has a cool feature where, similar to the Chefosaurus, a big Nutcracker toy statue comes out, starts walking around your base. It's kind of cool visually, but he's also a combat deviant that does some good damage against nearby enemies, likes green light toys, and uses 5 watts of power if you want to hook it up. So that is a decent attacking deviant there. Next up, one of my favorites is Mr. Wish. You get this from Silo Sigma in the party room, which is the shepherd boss room, the secondary boss in that little like toy room where you shrink down in size. That is where you have the chance of getting this. It can take multiple runs to get it. It took me like 10 plus runs. Ironically, I did run it with a buddy one time, and on the first try of running it with multiple people in the party, we had a 2-person party, we got it on the first try. So solo, it took me, like, I didn't get it actually solo. I've never seen it drop solo. It can, but it's like super rare. But I don't know if you get a higher percentage chance of it dropping with multiple people, but we had a way higher chance. And like I said, the first try with a duo group with an extra person, it dropped. But this is a combat attacker. Likes red light, music, toys, flowers, and uses 10 watts of power. I can go over and show this one because we have it. I've got him over here. Just chilling. So we've got the red light set up, music. I don't have power. Toys are bugged right now, so don't worry about toys. There's no way you can really do that. Flowers, not really necessary, but you can if you want. Just throw another planter down. But I like the Mr. Wish, especially for shrapnel builds, because it's auto attack does normal damage, but the target paint alternate attack upon command rapidly fires at enemies and inflicts the bullseye status effect, which if you watch my shrapnel build, bullseye is a really strong debuff that you can put on enemies. So not only will it attack, but it'll debuff the enemy, allowing you to do more damage with your normal weapons. So he's a really good attacking deviant, especially for elites and bosses. That is how you get him. Moving on, we have the Chefosaurus and the Pyro Dino. This is the first group of deviants where it's going to start breaking up between PvE only servers and PvP only servers. Yes, unfortunately, there is some, depending on the server type that you're on, that you won't be able to get. I am on a PvE server, so that is why I have the Chefosaurus. You get this from Silo Phi, from the bedroom secondary boss. Once you kill that secondary boss, you go through the little teleporter door, and it'll be floating, hopefully, in the little bedroom where you go to collect the reward. It basically is a cooking territory deviant. It gives all of your food items, when you craft them at your stove, additional secondary perks and whims, which is really cool. He likes red light, toys, and high temperatures. So if I go back to the game, we've got him over here. Where are you? He's in his little container right now, but I've got the furnace down because he likes high temperatures, the red light. But yeah, enhances the effectiveness of cooking in your thing. Toys, obviously, still bugged, but one cool feature, animation-wise, is if you have him at his 30%, he will leave his cube and start running around your base. Another little unique thing that I can show off is because he's a cook, he does have a unique little animation with your stove. So if you go over and cook a meal, that's literally do anything. You do a canned lunch meat, craft that up. He should spawn at your stove, and he has a fun little unique cooking animation that he does. That was a very quick craft, but if you do one that takes a little bit longer, he like breathes fire and does some cool stuff there, some neat little animations. So it doesn't matter wherever he is in your base, he'll run around and do that little animation and teleport to your stove anytime you cook something. So that is a fun little deviant that they have there for your territory. Moving on, the PvP version of that from the same Philo Psi bedroom drop is the Pyro Dino. He is a combat deviant, really good, does like a fire breath attack, and can hit multiple enemies at once. You can only get him on PvP servers though, and he likes green light, toys, and high temperatures, so pretty much the same as the Chefosaurus, only the red light and green light are flipped. So that is how those work. It's kind of interesting because the Chefosaurus is green, so you'd think he'd like green light, and the Pyro's red, so you'd think he'd like red light, but it's the opposite. But that is the Pyro Dino. Fortunately, I can't show it off because I can't get it on PvE servers. Moving on, we have the Polar Jelly. This is the PvE server drop from the EX1 silo, and you get this from just the final Siren boss. Once you kill him, there's a chance that when you go up the final steps of the prison cell, it'll be right next to the final reward claim drop. He's just hovering in a bubble nearby, and you can grab him. He is a combat deviant that does frost damage. He likes blue light, cold temperatures, so use the fridge, and 3 watts of power. So if we jump back, I've got him over here in the same area where we had the Canine Skull, because they both like cold temperatures. So blue light, low temperature, and electricity. Upon being thrown, it deals frost damage when hitting an enemy, and the frost damage lingers. Besides that, its other attack is just a straight up auto attack where it inflicts frost attribute status damage and reduces the movement speed of enemies by 50% on hostile targets around you in the vicinity. So pretty cool combat deviant there. Honestly, I don't use it as much, but we're here to collect them all, if you will. So we got him in the facility container as well. Moving on, we have the Atomic Lighter. This one, in my opinion, is a little bit more useful. You can only find this on PvP servers, also from killing the Siren boss in the EX1 silo. This one is a gadget. It increases your damage and increases the drop chance of better items when killing enemies. It likes red light, music, and uses 3 watts of power to get its mood to max. So keep that in mind. Definitely better, in my opinion, than the Polar Jelly, but unfortunately, I can't get that one. But that is what it will look like, and it will spawn in the exact same spot in the little bubble hovering by the reward claim after killing the Siren boss in the EX1 silo. So keep an eye out for that. Moving on, we have the next PvE server deviant called the Enchanting Void. You get this from Silo Theta, from the statue room. Basically, you go in, it's that first secondary boss. You got to mimic the positions of the statues with the reflection in the water. If you want to just have a quick remember, it's going to be 2, 3, 2, 3, 2 is all you got to remember. Skip the first statue working from the first statue on the right and going around counterclockwise. Skip the first one, rotate 2, rotate 3, rotate 2, rotate 3, rotate 2. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. That's all you got to remember. And that is the proper order of the statue turns. Once you do that, the secondary boss pops up, you burn him down, and there's a chance that either the Enchanting Void or Dr. Teddy will appear in a little bubble. You can grab them that way. But the Enchanting Void is a combat deviant similar to the butterfly and things like that. It basically boosts your melee damage and gives you a movement speed bonus. So not bad there. And the Enchanting Void cat likes red light, flowers, fridge, and 5 watts of power. Personally, I don't use this deviant that much, but it does look kind of cute, so we threw him in the deviant room. But you can check it out here. Handling, the player transforms into a panther. While in panther form, attack hostile target on your own, causing the attack target to receive plus 100% melee damage for 20 seconds. And then the combat assist is, like I mentioned, about the movement speed increase. Here again, we have its likes, so feel free to use that. Moving on, the PvP version of that same drop is going to be Dr. Teddy. He is another combat deviant, but gears towards healing and reviving. If you're low health, the Dr. Teddy will run up to you and sort of help you regen a little bit quicker. And if you get downed, it's basically like having a free adrenaline shot. The deviant Dr. Teddy will run over to your corpse and revive you for free. So not a bad dungeon assist support deviant, one of the better ones in my opinion, but you can unfortunately only get that on PvP servers, and that one likes green light and toys, so really only green light, because again, toys are bugged. Moving on, we have the Buzzy Bee. This is a PvE server only deviant. You get this from all those hidden invisible mimic chests. It is a territory deviant that specializes in farming. It likes music, crops, and flowers. I've got mine actually up by our farm area, so I can quickly run over there and show you guys this one. So here it is. And the reason why I have it by the farm is because when you increase its power, it has a cool little unique animation where it'll fly out and start hovering over all of your crops and boost the efficiency of them. But to go more in detail on that, we can talk to it. The higher the deviation energy rating, the higher the mutation probability. So the perk of this one is, I believe it helps your plants grow a little bit faster, but it also gives the crops a higher chance of yielding deviated crops, which if you want something like the Grumpy Onion deviant, for example, which is another one that I'm missing. I'm constantly growing onions here. I've done probably 6 rotations so far, gotten a bunch of deviated onions, but just haven't gotten lucky yet. But that is how you get the Grumpy Onion one, and the Buzzy Bee can help you achieve that. Another way is by just getting the buffs for the bonus to deviated soil and fertilizer. That will increase the probability of your crops becoming deviated as well. But Buzzy Bee is a good alternative if you want to help with your farming. Moving on, the next one is the Pup Buddy. This is the same equivalent of the Buzzy Bee, but for PvP only servers. You get that from the same invisible hidden mimic chests, but this one is a gadget. You throw this in your backpack, I believe, and it gives you basically increase to weight reduction, so you can carry a larger load. There is a potion, I believe. Actually, that might be what it does. It might just allow you to make the weight reduction potion, and that is what reduces the cost of your weight on your backpack. But that is what the Pup Buddy does, and that one likes green light, music, and toys. Again, toys are bugged. Moving on, we have the Digby Boy. Everyone can get this. You get this by just mining ore throughout the wilds. It is another territory deviant that specializes in mining, so we can quickly jump over to that. Early on, before you get a ton of deviants, and by the way, I forgot to mention, there's more deviants than there are containers that you're allowed to craft, but you can craft 20 containers, 20 or 21 containers, so you can hold quite a few of them in your base at once. And if you're earlier in the game and you don't have all of them filled, you can stack multiples of these deviants. So a big one that a lot of people like to do is the Digby Boy. We can go over and show him here. You can get like 3 or 4 of him. You are capped to 8 territory deviants at once, so you can have up to 8 of the deviants that help gather things in your base at one time. Some people like to do like 4 of these Digby Boys, so they can just farm tons of ore for you for free. Other people like doing multiple of the logging beaver that I'll go over here in a second, but just know you can have multiples of these running at the same time to get more materials a little bit quicker. But going into its likes, again, likes music, toys, high temperatures, which is why I have the furnace nearby, and 5 watts of power. And its perk is mining ore, activate statuses, automates mining, and the higher the deviant energy rating, the more efficient it is. So down below, you can see it just randomly over time collects different ores that are nearby your base. You can claim them and just get it. I just claimed it a few minutes ago, so I only have some gravel here. But he gathers tungsten, copper, everything you can think of. He goes and collects it nearby, and he has a unique little animation where he'll actually run outside your base with a bag and come back in and runs around and just gathers things. And again, if this is low, you can go and swap it out to increase the power and get him collecting a little bit quicker. So that is the Digby Boy. Moving on, we have H37. He is our salvager collector for the territory. You get him from a quest, a side quest throughout the campaign as you're playing through. And I believe you can also get him as a random drop from the fridge boss in the silo silo. The fridge boss can be a little annoying and takes a bit of time. I'm not a big fan of that fight. It takes way too long in my opinion, but you can get him from there. It's like a big junk pile, so it makes sense. He likes music, toys, and 10 watts of power, so I can show him off. He's right nearby. So we got H37 here. Explores different areas and loots crates. It says loots crates, but you can get other things. It's mainly going to be like rusted parts, adhesives, things like that. So you can claim that stuff from him. And again, that only works when he's the mood is above 30. So if he's lower than 30, again, click the extraction button, swap it out, and that'll get him out and collecting a bit quicker. So keep in mind for that. Moving on, we have the disco ball. This is a little bit different than last beta. You had to do a cool disco ball event to get this one. There is a disco ball event still in this beta, but they removed the deviant from that for some reason. And now the disco ball and gingerbread house are found right next to each other, just sitting out in the open in the wild by the Greywater town. So if you go to the disco ball, that one is a gadget that allows you to craft the sanity potion here. So we can go over and talk to him. Or the Utter Delight Potion, rather. And basically what that does is it increases the duration of other whims from other potions and consumables, makes them last a little bit longer. The cool thing is it likes all 3 types of light. So I have the blue, green, and red light all going at the same time to get that effect. And basically the material needed to craft that potion is the inspiration fragment. I'm at max, so I can claim that now, but that will slowly generate over time so long as its deviant power is above 30. So again, I'll just swap that out, and now that'll start generating. But that is the disco ball, and I can actually show off on the map where that's located. If you go to the guide, I have the coordinates of where you can find it. The log cabin, gingerbread house rather, and disco ball are going to be right next to each other, but you can find them just outside of Greywater Camp. Right around here, I believe. It's right around the back side of the town, literally right on the road almost. You'll see both of them just sitting right next to each other. So the gingerbread house and the disco ball will be right here, just outside of Greywater Camp. So you just got to go right out the back entrance and you'll spot them. You can't really miss it. It's like right there. But that is how you get that and the gingerbread house. So we can move on to that next. This gives you the disguise food buff. It's another gadget deviant, likes red light, crops, and high temperatures. So again, you can use a furnace. I've got this one over here, which is why I have the furnace nearby. And also I'll put him strategically next to the crops, so he gets that as well. And then again, red light. He gives you the morph crumbs consumable item that basically turns you into a random piece of furniture temporarily. Why that is a good thing, I don't know. Maybe if you're like sneaking into an enemy's base or something, who knows. I haven't personally used it at all, but it is a gimmicky little fun little ability. I'm wondering if a community member came up with that idea and they liked it, so they created it. I'm not sure what use case it would have though, but that is a deviant you can get, so might as well collect it. But moving on, we have the logging beaver. This is a big one, especially if you're using things like the biomass generators, because you need to throw wood in there. You can find the logging beaver near the docks that do fishing events. They're all over the place, so there's multiple spawns that you can find this guy, and he is a territory deviant that specializes in logging, so similar to H37 and the Digby Boy. Instead of scraps and ore, he will collect tons and tons of wood for you. We got thousands and thousands of wood from ours, so much so that I actually took him out and replaced him with the Fetch a Bunny that we just got, because we have like more than enough wood now, more than we would ever need. And he likes music, crops, high temperatures, so again, use a furnace and 3 watts of power. Next up, we've got a random little one here. It's the wish machine. Technically, it is a deviant, but it's not a deviant in the sense that you put it in a containment facility. It's actually its own little piece of furniture. You all know what the wish machine is. It's just the thing you interact with to get all your blueprints, and the gotcha machine, if you will. And you get that from the main quest line just by doing the story. As soon as you get to Greywater Camp, I believe, the wish machine is literally sitting there at the entrance and kind of begging you to come talk to it. So you go talk to it, finish that quest line, and you're rewarded with the wish machine once you're done. So yeah, for the likes, I put NA because it doesn't really have any likes. It's not a normal deviant. Moving on, we have Hug in a Bowl. You find this on streets and train tracks. I have a known spawn, guaranteed spawn location that I can show you here. It's going to be on the map. Going to be right down here. Way down south, just west of the Hearst Industries. So right by this upper bridge here, if you wrap off the bridge and go underneath it on a little cliff ledge underneath this bridge, you're going to see this deviant just floating there in the bubble. So it's pretty much a guaranteed spawn. You can just grab it, but really easy one to find once you know where to look. And that one likes crops and flowers and gives you the sanity food gadget buff. So I can go over here. I've got him here. Go ahead and talk to him. Allows you to create the home style noodles. So basically it is a 100% sanity recover food item. This will show up at your stove once you get the deviant. It requires the delicious soup, which we can claim here now, which will start generating over time so long as the deviant is above 30. So again, boom, power it up, and now that will start generating more. But neat little deviant there, and if you run out of sanity gummies to decrease your sanity on your meter. This is a good alternative. Sanity gummies are just a piece of your sanity bar. That soup will be a 100% depletion of it. So no matter how much you've got, you'll be back to normal just by drinking that one food item, which is nice. But moving on, we have the Space Turner. You find this near door puzzles. Again, I know a guaranteed spawn location that I can show off here. I have the coordinates, but if you go to your map, by the way, if you right click on a point, that is how you see the coordinates. So you can go off of the coordinates on the little sheet that I have and just keep going until the coordinates get closer and closer. But I'll just show you right now so you guys don't need to worry about it. It's going to be right over here. So that coordinate is basically right here, 6520, negative 5236. It's going to be just southeast of the Thoroughville town. You're going to see a little door puzzle right here. Once you complete that door puzzle, the Space Turner Deviant will spawn. So you can get it that way. But that is the location to find that one. And instead of reading its stats, we can just go and talk to it, because I believe I have it up over here somewhere. Where are you at? There we go. So that is what looks like just a silver Rubik's Cube. Now I really like this Deviant actually, especially if you play with friends. It likes blue light and toys, but its perk basically gives you a special unique item that you can craft at the synthesis bench, I believe, called the Space Twister. And what it is it's basically a teleportation device. As long as you have one of these in your inventory, you can use it and summon one of your teammates to you anywhere that they might be on the map. So instead of them wasting a teleport or trying to get multiple groups of enemies to a secondary allied base, because you can only teleport to your own base, unfortunately, you can just use one of these items and pull your teammate to you instantly. You use it, a little window pops up, giving you 10 seconds to click accept. If you click accept, then your teammate will warp to you and just instantly join your party and join your group and be right wherever you're standing. So really helpful. I always try and keep like 2 or 3 of these little Space Turner or Space Twister items in my inventory whenever I'm partying with buddies and friends. So nice little Deviant to have for sure, especially if you're playing groups. Moving on, we have the Electric Eel, the beloved Electric Eel. You get this one through fishing. It is much easier to get now. It was pretty rare in the last beta, but honestly, I was getting like 2-3 electric eels during each fishing session if I was trying to get some rare, like northern pike, for example. I was getting more electric eels than northern pikes. They spawn super easily now, but this is a big one. It gives you an electricity boost to your generators. This is what I was mentioning, how the Deviant power, the rating, the skill rating, will actually increase the amount of bonus power that it gives to your generators. So this is one Deviant that you can stack to have multiple of to give your base more power, and one that you will want to try and make as happy as possible, because the happier it is, the more bonus power it's going to give you. It likes blue light, high temperatures, and music. So we can go back here, and that is why I have the radio, the furnace, and I don't think I have, no, I got the blue light. So that one is always as happy as it can possibly be. But as you can see, upgraded generator power cap. I believe it's like 8 to 10 bonus watts that you can get. Mine is at a skill rating of 4 and an activity rating of 3 because I'm constantly using it. So really, really good Deviant to have, and you can stack this. So you can have 2, 3, 4 of these electric eels if you want to give your base a ton more power. Honestly, if you have some of the random cradle perks that give power boosts, that isn't totally necessary, but early on, it is a good strategy if you want a bunch of power early to get multiples of these. It has a cool, unique little animation that I might be able to run out and show real quick, that they actually leave the facility and hang out by your power generators. So of course I don't have any now, but when it is, oh no, there they are. So yeah, they just hover around the 2 generators that they're buffing at any given point, and that's how you know that that generator is getting a little boost from it. Normally these have like 35 watts of power, but as you can see, this one has 52, this one has 50. They're a little bit different because one has a little bit higher skill rating than the other. So that just shows how much bonus power that you can get on some of these. whereas other ones would be much, much lower. That actually is interesting. That should be giving me power. One of them was at 0. Might have to shift that one around a little bit. But moving on, go back to the Deviant room. I know this video is going to be kind of long. There is a ton of Deviants this time around, but I want to be as thorough as possible. Next, we have Frog the Leaper. You find this near lily pads and car stacks. One guaranteed known spawn that I can show you guys that I know it spawns all the time is going to be right over here. So just south of the East Blackfell Junction, there is a little pond right here, and those coordinates that I put on the spreadsheet are for this location right here. You're going to see a little patch of lily pads. You can do the lily pads to get a little accessory, but you'll also see the Deviant floating in the air that you can grab there. So be sure to grab that. And he gives you multiple gadgets. He gives you the ability to create a jump potion, which increases your jump height, as well as a new type of bait called the something hopper. Let me see here. You can go over and just talk to him and figure it out. So he has the wind-up tadpole is what the bait's called. And you create the spring legs potion using the silver spring item, which again will spawn once you're above 30%. So we'll do that now while I'm here. But he unlocks the spring legs potion, which increases your jump height. The energy drink is another one that I'd recommend that gives you double jump, so you combine that, and especially for like the Menzovoran boss, when he's swiping or slamming and does the AoE ground AoE damage, this is a good potion to use for that, so you can dodge that AoE damage a bit easier. But really good buff, and once you get these wind-up tadpoles, you get bait so quick that you pretty much never have to buy bait again. So nice little Deviant to passively have there. He likes toys and electricity, so really electricity is the only way that you can make him happy, unfortunately, right now. But moving on to the next one, we start getting into the late game ones. We have Rebecca. She is drops potentially from the first 3 bosses in the LEA research facility. She is another territory deviant, and basically plays the piano and increases your recovery rate. So similar to when you're laying in your bed and you're regaining health and sanity, having her will do that a little bit quicker anywhere in your territory. And she also plays the piano, and instead of being in a doll form, similar to like how the Chefosaurus spawns up and it's like a big walking animated character, Rebecca will spawn in human form and basically stand near a piano that you have in your territory and play music. So it's a kind of unique little animation there. And she likes green light, toys, and flowers. Moving on, we have the Masonic Pyramid. These are the ones, these couple I don't have yet. Masonic Pyramid is only for PvP servers, and you get that by completing PvP territory wars. It is a gadget deviant that gives you the invis and warning potion, good for PvE battles. To basically tell you when cloaked enemies are nearby and or make you invisible during those battles. So a really good PvP gadget or pet gadget deviant to have. And the Masonic Pyramid likes blue light, music, high temperatures, so use a furnace, and 10 watts of power to make it happy. So that is the likes. Moving on, we have the Grumpy Bulb. Kind of mentioned this one when I was talking about the Buzzy Bee, but people have finally found him. You get him by onion harvesting, and I put a little preface here saying preferably deviated onions. So the higher the rate that you get using whether it be the increased fertilizer or the Buzzy Bee to increase the chances of your crops being deviated, the higher chance you have of your onions turning into deviated onions, the better. It'll increase the chances of the Grumpy Bulb appearing. And basically how that works is it's actually kind of bugged right now from the ones that I have seen. Instead of the little onion Grumpy Bulb deviant bubble popping up, a Dr. Teddy deviant pops up right where the plant would have been. It just hovers there above your crop, and you can gather it from there. And basically what he does is he's actually a combat deviant. You throw him at the ground, and it confuses enemies that are nearby. They'll start attacking each other and just swinging at the air. It also does status damage over time, so a nice little deviant to have, especially if there's big, densely packed up mobs. They'll kind of just ignore you and just start attacking each other. So pretty interesting deviant there. And he likes crops, flowers, and high temperatures. So again, use the furnace. Moving on to the Fetch-A-Lot Bunny, we finally found this one. You guys have probably seen my video from yesterday. I think I might have been the first creator to post a video on how to find the Fetch-A-Lot Bunny, just saying. But you get that from chopping down the massive trees that are hidden throughout the map. If you watch my video, I'll probably put a link to that up here. Shows off where you can find one of those trees. I can also show you right now. If you go to your map, it's actually just north of where we built our base. Right on this little cliff here is a guaranteed spawn for that big tree. You can get to it by going up the front or around and going up the trail. But right on this cliff, you'll see it. It's a massive tree. You really can't miss it. But you can't use the chainsaw on it. You have to use normal axes. So I brought a tungsten axe, and all you do is literally just walk up to the tree, start hacking it down, and then one of those swings will hopefully randomly give you the Fetch-A-Lot Bunny Deviant. It isn't a 100% guarantee. I have tried it since then and previously, and the first attempt actually didn't drop the Fetch-A-Lot Bunny, but after the tree regrew, I attempted to cut it down a second time, and it did work the second time. So it might not happen on your first attempt, but just keep chopping down that tree. It actually respawns like every 30 to 40 seconds. So once you chop it down, just wait a minute and the tree will come back and you can try again. So once you take enough swings at it, hopefully you get lucky and it will drop. That is how you get the Fetch-A-Lot Bunny. And he is a territory deviant as well that specializes in harvesting shrubs. He likes crops, toys, and flowers. So at this point, we pretty much have a deviant for every type of collectible. We've got the logging beaver to collect wood, the Digby Boy to collect ore. We now have the Fetch-A-Lot Bunny over here in my plant section to collect all of your shrubs, so like berries and things like that. It even collects dirty water for you. And then we have the H37 deviant that does all of our scrap materials and like chest loot materials. So really cool to try and have one of each of those, so you have a bit of every resource possible for free. So nice little one there, and he eluded the community for several weeks, so I'm glad we finally found him. Last but not least, we have the By the Wind deviant. This is a PvE only deviant that you get from Prime War bosses. It's a pretty high chance that it drops, but all you got to do is hopefully get a big group together, do one of the Prime Wars. If you successfully complete it and you destroy the final boss, the By the Wind deviant will drop. It is a combat deviant that gives you passive movement speed buffs and a levitate ability. So this is also a good one for the Men's Deverin boss fight. Basically just launches you into the air really, really high, and you can slowly glide down. So similar to like the jump potion, except you can use it constantly. So nice deviant to have, especially for combat and boss fights that you have to dodge big AoE attacks. It's kind of unique. And the By the Wind deviant likes blue light, red light, flowers, and 5 watts of power. So quite a bit of options there. I don't unfortunately have this one yet. That is one of the last ones that I'm missing, so I won't be able to show it off, but that is what it looks like. Last but not least, the two that have not been found and or aren't available yet. We're hoping that this becomes available, if it's not already, in the upcoming final phase that's about to unlock, is the Lava Fox. We think they showed this off during the Deviant trailer. We have not seen that one yet. So hopefully this becomes available soon, or someone figures it out. I know I've tried a bunch of crazy things. I've thrown Molotov cocktails at fox animals, and that doesn't make it spawn. So I can confirm that that's not a way of getting it. But I don't know how to get this one. So there isn't a spot for it yet. We don't know what it looks like. We don't have any information. But bet your ass, once we do figure it out, I'll make a video for it, so I'll let you guys know as soon as someone in the community figures it out and I collect it. I'll add that to the list and make the list fully complete. We also have TV Head Guy. This one I put a question mark because we don't even know if it is a deviant or if it's just the fashion item that you can get as a collectible, but it was on the list from searching the code and whatnot, so I put it on there. But those are the last two that are kind of pending. But yeah, that is a full list of every deviant that you can get in the beta, the name, the location of where to find it, its effect, and all of the likes and how to take care of it. And as you saw as I was going through the base, strategy-wise, try to group your deviants up by likes. So things that like cold temperatures, put the cold temperature generator in the middle and kind of consolidate the area to have multiple deviants get the bonus without having to create multiple of them. Same thing goes for like the ones that like flowers and crops. There's like 5+ deviants that like flowers and crops. So just build 2 of them and put all those deviants near each other so that they all get that buff from the same 2 plants. So nice little tips and tricks there to consolidate on the floor space of your deviants. Last but not least, again, the max containers that you can make is 20, I believe. So you won't, even if you collect all the deviants, you won't be able to show them all off, unfortunately, because there's more than 20. There's like almost 30. So pick and choose the ones that you want the most, or swap them in and out as needed. But yeah, that is pretty much it. The new and improved 2.0 Ultimate Deviant Guide. You've got all the information you guys need now. I'm going to, again, put that Excel sheet resource down in the description so you guys can download that for free and use it as you want. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys found this video informative. I know it was a little bit longer. There was a lot to go over. I wanted to be as in-depth as possible so all the bases were covered. But if you enjoyed it, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. I appreciate all of your guys' feedback. If you want to join a community of like-minded gamers as well, consider checking down in the description and hit the link to our Discord. We got hundreds of gamers in there, many of which are playing Once Human now, that would love to see you guys around. So hopefully you join up, and we're actually recruiting for the warband as well. So yeah, that'll be pretty fun too. But yeah, until the next one, you guys, hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you all later.